Hey everybody, welcome back. It is time for another weekly walkthrough, and we're going to start as usual by looking at the syllabus for just kind of orienting ourselves in time. I can speak some days better than others. So we are moving into week number 5 right now. So there's no new readings to do, but this is the week when you are supposed to video and submit your group presentations for the Shakespeare presentations and submit your individual drafts for the Shakespeare papers, so your individual papers, to get my feedback. So the sooner you can do that, the better. The papers themselves, the final version of the paper is not due until the end of week 7. So I will have all of week 6. If you don't turn it in until the Sunday night, it's not an emergency. But if you can get them in sooner, I will hopefully get to them sooner, and that will give you more time to work on those. I noticed, I believe, that everyone has already submitted the Shakespeare videos, and if that's true, that's awesome. You guys are ahead of the game, but let me just kind of really quickly walk us through what should be going on this week. All right. So we are in week 5, and you've got one more week. I'm going to be publishing the upcoming weeks, but you can still look ahead to next week if you so desire. But we are finishing up with this unit's readings and all of that good stuff. So Shakespeare, of course, was the key. And there's not a lot of new stuff in this week's stuff because, of course, we're just continuing with what we've been working on. But you do have the addition of the place to submit that rough draft. Oh, wait a minute. No, I take it back. I'm in the wrong. Or I've done something incorrectly. Let's double check. There it is. Okay. I was just in the wrong one. So week 5 graded assignments, the submitted videos. Like I said, I think every group has already submitted it. If you haven't, of course, you have all week to do that. And then the rough draft submission for the full Shakespeare literary analysis paper. I am posting a separate video announcement, or not a video announcement, but a separate announcement this evening that will help you with your research papers. But this also will help you kind of figure out what to do with it. The good news is with the Shakespeare papers, you can do anything. So if you were in the workman group, but you want to write about the lovers or whatever, you are not tied to what you were already doing. Now, many of you will want to stick with that because, of course, you've already done a lot of work with it. So that's fine as well. It is up to you what you want to write about. But this is a literary analysis paper. So the big things are that most of the quotations, most of the direct quotations should be from the play itself. You should also have actual literary secondary sources that come from the Lake Sumter Library materials. Those will be cited even if you are not quoting them directly using APA format. So we've gone over that a little bit. We've had some tools for that. If you need any help with it, that's of course one of the things that I'm going to be looking at when I look at your rough drafts. So I just want you to do this to the best of your ability right now. And then if we need to, we can address any issues, whether it be content or documentation. But here's the thing. The more thorough you can be in completing the paper, the better my help is going to be with the rough draft. So please do take this as if it is due, like the paper itself is due. So you'll have at least 3 secondary sources, all academic in nature. If you do use some additional things from the internet for overviews or character analysis or things like that, it's fine to cite those. But remember that you need to have at least 3 academic secondary sources. And don't forget that the library has provided a lot of research for you in our course lib guide. I looked at this last week with you, but this is where it would be. You've got author biography, which we don't need to cover in the paper, but critical analysis, you do have quite a few articles that you can turn to there as well. And those are all absolutely acceptable academic secondary sources. But primarily, they don't call it a primary source for nothing. The bulk of what you're going to include is going to be the literature and then your analysis of that literature. It can also be other people's analysis of literature, but the literature should shine and take center stage. So if you have any problems or questions with it this week, do let me know. But I will be giving you the feedback, which is how I will help you individually before we submit the final version for a grade. All right. So I hope everybody has a great week. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and I will see you next Monday if I don't talk to you before that. Everybody have a good one.